Hey guys, Commander Tex here, and today I have a Skaven versus Tomb Kings game for you on the road to Talonheim. I'm going to be rocking two sets of two for each of the Storm Vermin, two Poison Wind Globadiers, and some Skaven Slave Slingers, as well as some Clan Rats and a whole bunch of Skaven Slaves in the front line. We have a nice little tiered system where the farther back you go, the more important the rats look. Of course, Squeak in the middle, but back here we got all the Storm Vermin and the Poison Wind Globadiers, the true MVP of this game. They are, of every game, really. They're just unbelievable. But we have Skeleton Warriors, some Nehekahan Warriors. Pretty standard spread with some archers, but he is going to be rocking some Ushapti right here, as well as a line of Ushapti with great bows, including the ROR. They're going to be getting some good shots in on the Skaven slaves. Luckily, Skaven slaves don't matter. The Screaming Skull Catapult is going to be opening up from the back, and not a lot of range from me quite yet to open up, but the Skeleton Summon from Arkan, as well as a Spirit Leech, is going to be a pretty good opener. Delay all of these units and get about 20% down on old Queek there. Ushapti firing into the Poison Wind Globadiers, pretty good. Those things will tear you up if you don't stop them somehow. The battle lines clash. The Skaven slaves are going to die in like 2 seconds, which is not going to be great. This skeleton summon really kind of messed up the advance of everything in the middle, but we have triple capped him, and because I saw all of the Ushapti with great bows that he had, I decided to just press forward instead of trying to hold the middle. Which makes this even more annoying. But we're just going to push as hard as we can everywhere. Of course, the initial Skaven slaves are routing, but they have allowed time for at least these Poison Wind Globadiers to get some throws in. The Skaven slaves are barely even a gun line. Like, they're there. They generally pay for themselves. It's nice to have a big blob of stuff that you can tell to go attack something, but really, the only guns that are doing any damage are these Poison Wind Globadiers, and they're pretty insane, but you need the units to not be moving, and you don't really want to kill all of your Storm Vermin. No rats like being right next to where a bunch of Poison Wind globes have been thrown. But such is the life of the Skaven Slave. They will do what everyone else doesn't want to do. Unlike them, Queek over here, Queek does what Queek wants. He's gonna go right in there with all of the skeletons in a big vortex. Very hard to even... So many particle effects in there. Another Spirit Leech from Arkan. Queek, very resilient most of the time, but very susceptible to magic. 110 armor does not save you any damage from Spirit Leech. And finally, the Ushapti are getting jumped on by some ROR Rat Ogres. Very good. That firing line was going to really start doing work if left alone too long. Ushapti summon onto the Poison Wind Globadiers by Arkan. Or I think this is a Tomb King like faction effect. I don't think it's Lord specific, but I don't actually play Tomb Kings. The Ushapti getting jumped. Not a great fight for them. Queek with his retinue of Storm Vermin. Still getting Spirit Leeched by Arkan. Getting kind of low. Should probably pull him back now, because Arkan's just going to cackle over here and keep doing that, and Queek can't catch him on this beautiful little skeleton horse that he has. The ROR Rat Ogres, still just kind of being a nuisance in the backfield, have pushed the Ushapti all the way to the back, so The constant firing has ceased for a little while. Queek and the Storm Vermin trying to chase down Arkin. And it looks like this point is secure. All of the points are mine. So we have him triple capped and we're pushing him back pretty far. Queek's finally able to get a solid attack on Arkin, but before I can surround him with the Storm Vermin, he runs away. Spirit leeches Queek again. And this is when I'm like, ooh, we might be slightly overextended. So we're going to go ahead and pull back. Queek's going to route, though. And Queek's going to route this way for some godforsaken reason. So he's dead, which is very unfortunate, because Skaven leadership really sucks. But at least we still have the Eshin Sorcerer to take his place, and realistically, the Eshin Sorcerer has probably done even more, because this spell is insane, and he also just kind of stands over here and doesn't die. A little inconspicuous for my taste. I do like how pompous old Queekster is with his trophy rack, but despite as much as I like him, he is a bit of an idiot, as you can tell by him running directly into the enemy army and getting Spirit Leeched to death.
The enemy has slain our lord.
So we have the Skeleton Warriors getting bodied over here. Storm Vermin holding it down, bringing everything in that routed out to the woods. And Queek is dead, so I'm trying to pull back, because Skaven leadership is god-awful, especially when the leader dies. So I'm trying to not consolidate what we can. Storm Vermin seem to be a bit lost. The Storm Vermin with halberds luckily had enough health to not just rout immediately when the Lord dies, which is generally what happens. Now the Carrion come in. They're gonna immediately dive on the Teethbreakers, which is tragic, because the Teethbreakers could easily have killed Arkin here. But gonna be shut down with nothing really to stop them. The left side routing as soon as they get hit by artillery. But the Poison Wind Globadiers might be able to shred this down while getting protected by the Storm Vermin. Mass rout in the middle with all of the magic. Ooh, and it's not looking good. He's got about a 3,000 lead. I do have a huge points lead, though. So, still possible. And the Eshin Sorcerer alone, I don't even know if the Rattling Guns have melee. Maybe they do. But the Eshin Sorcerer and the Rattling Guns are able to fend off the Carrions before they actually die, which is very good. More Carrions coming. Rat Ogre's going to defend. The Poison Wind Globadiers still doing whatever they can to kill these units. Luckily, there's at least like a 2-inch gap right here, so they're not actually fighting. Oh, here it is. There was it's very weird in this game where like the ranged units won't actually attack if there's one of them fighting. So that whole line they're not actually touching, but there's like one little guy over here. But finally, we reshuffle them, and now they're facing the wrong way, so they're still not going to fight. Very good. Very good work, boys. Anyway, Carrion still diving on the Rattling Gunners to shut down the shooting, but we have at least the Plague Call Catapult to put in a little bit of work on stuff. It's pretty sick to do the combo with this Vortex spell, because then, oh yeah, if it hits center mass where the black hole is like pulling them all in, the shots do big work. Yeah. You can't really tell on skeletons, but against high level units, it's pretty insane. The Poison Wind Globadiers finally got turned the right direction and have melted the entire skeleton squad. They are going to get chased down by Ushabti. Random Skaven slaves still just coming in from the sides as they reform ranks. Rat Ogres, Clan Rats, all of the Storm Vermin coming in for a reverse, I guess a flank, after they routed that way. Unlike Queek, they were spared, it seems. And we're kind of able to reform a gun line here. This is going to be a problem. this big blob of horsemen and Ushabti coming at me, but the Poison Wind Globadiers might be able to deal with all of that if we can just form a line and protect them. Rat Ogre's a little separated over here, probably going to get messed up by both of these units combined, so we're going to pull them back. And, ah, man, it's just not looking very good on the old damage value here. We still have a couple of Poison Wind Globadiers and a couple of Rattling Gunners. We're able to reform ranks, so if we can just secure a gun line and get all 3 of my ranged units shooting, the Poison Winds, the Catapults, and the Rattling Gunners, all of them have the most insane DPS for units in this game. And the Eshin Sorcerer keeps putting in the magic like this. It could happen. But we're gonna... The Ushabti summon again, just breaking the ranks of the gun line makes it so hard to maintain it. Luckily he's a little spread out here, so not able to get everyone. And a new field blooms with Skaven slaves and clan rats spreading out around the map. Queek was resummoned, and with our leadership back up again, we're going to be able to fight these Ushabti with something besides mass infantry. The Eshin Sorcerer is still doing excellent, just leading the army basically for most of the game now. He still has a triple capped, which is okay. We can handle it for a little while since we were so far ahead on points before. I did not ever find these guys. They're so far back here. I do think I find these Rat Ogres at some point. But Arkin still running around taunting me. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on him with some Skaven slaves and shoot some more Skaven slaves at him. But I wonder if he tried to Spirit Leech Queek, or if he did mean to get the Poison Winds. But gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, and Arkin's gonna go ahead and die for that. Eshin Sorcerer shooting some stars at him. And we're able to reform a battle line here. The ability to just spam out so many cheap rats and kind of just get a wall is so good. Yeah. And so we're able to kill some archers over here. And we're reforming the ranks. We still have some Rattling Gunners. We still have the Plague Claw Catapults, just getting us value over time. His value over time and the Ushabti are going to go ahead and get jumped real quick. And of course the Carrion are back to hop on all of my ranged. Tomb King's players are always insane about that. They just... there's always a Carrion for any occasion. Luckily, these guys are still okay. Rat Ogre's getting into the anti-infantry units. Spears into the skeletons. It's so funny finding random storm vermin, because they'll like you'll just find like how many are these? You find 60 storm vermin just chilling on the edge of the map because they routed and then they re-rallied. They're just random places. Normally with the Skaven slaves, there's a lot less of them. Carrion jumping on these Poison Wind Globadiers, but Rat Ogre's starting to kill a lot of these big problems here. Queek and the Eshin Sorcerer just balling out in the middle, doing their thing. Not much to really mess with them without any magic on the field. And we're gonna go ahead and recapture this one. With the double Rat Ogres, we should be able to kill this and capture this. We have more rats coming out to form a wall. And see, this is when it's not really good. Like, using the Carrion to stop the Skaven... Like, the Skaven slaves aren't really doing anything. So, they're only 200. I don't know how much both of these units are, but I'm gonna guess the Ushabti are like 1,000, and the Carrion are probably like 400 at least. So, this doesn't even really matter. But when they're jumping on Poison Winds, these things, and the guns, then it is such a pain in the ass to deal with the vultures. we're starting to restabilize. He still has the middle point, but I think we might be able to take it back here. Ushapti, normal Ushapti. Gonna go ahead and get in on them. And we do get routed over here, but everything's just gonna run into the forest and probably rally. Skaven slaves way in the back. Some more storm vermin chilling in the trees. And the big old blob fighting Queek is gonna get poison wind globed and killed pretty well. We're gonna form ranks around them without actually getting into combat with them, because when you're actually in combat, then these guys die even harder. They're still getting hit a little bit, but that's just because these guys can't throw well. But when you're touching them, of course, there's nowhere to throw it and not kill them. But Poison Winds are gonna do in 3 seconds what the Clan Rats probably wouldn't be able to even do. And Queek, of course, being an insane person, as well as the Eshin Sorcerer, do not care about these Poison Winds at all. They will just stand in poison all day. And such is Queek. Queek does as he wants. Over here, Skaven slaves able to fight pretty well with the Rat Ogres alongside them. Over here, we have a solid surround going on this ball of skeletons. Skaven slaves eating the bird attacks, so the poison winds can escape. I'm gonna go ahead and deflect with some rat ogres. Rout ogres and storm vermin over here. And it looks like he's going to be able to retake this cap, but the center is pretty secure, and this one is also pretty secure. So I think we've just won. Yeah. He has an insane lead of value, but with the triple cap into a reverse triple cap, we were able to reform ranks and get it. So Queek, a little disappointing this time for 2 summons in 1,400 gold. Each summon is going to definitely not pay for himself. None of the storm vermin going to pay for themselves either. These are both going to get insane value, of course. Skaven slaves, whatever. And let us see, the Eshin Sorcerer, of course, the true leader of the game, doing great. ROR Rat Ogres, absolutely amazing units. And then Arkin doing pretty good, just killing Queek with those constant spirit leeches, very annoying. Ushapti really just slaughtering the majorly infantry-based army. Also the ROR Nehakaran warriors and the Screaming Catapult. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you later.